Today, we're speaking with a professional who has been trained by the Institute for Family Professionals, known as IFP. IFP is a program of Lakeside Educational Network, which provides ongoing training to family professionals who serve children and family systems in the greater Philadelphia area. Our hangout today is co-sponsored by Lakeside and the United Way of Greater Philadelphia and Southern New Jersey. Hello, my name is Angela Denny, and I'm with Lakeside Educational Network. So today we're speaking with Jackie, who will share her experience as a participant in IFP's training. Hi, Jackie. How are you today?
I'm great. How you doing?
I am swell. Thanks for
Wonderful.
being with us. And
Yeah.
I'm wondering if you could just tell us your full name and what agency you work with.
My full name is Curleen Jackie Cheney, and I work with Brightside Academy.
And what is your role there, Jackie?
A director.
Okay. And can you briefly describe the clientele that you serve on a daily basis?
On a daily basis, we serve parents of working low income to families that live in shelters and single parents.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and I understand, Jackie, that you've taken one or more classes via IFP training.
Yes.
As you think about that, what theories or practices or principles stood out to you that you'd be willing to share with us today?
Sure. When I think about IFP, what comes to mind is the skill of LATE. That is, LATE stands for listening, affirming, and teaching and exploring.
Okay, and then specifically, how has that theory, the LATE theory, how has that been useful to your clientele or beneficial?
I'm gonna give you a little scenario, okay?
Okay.
I have a family, a single parent and daughter. I'm gonna call the daughter Karen, and the mom and daughter, they live in a shelter. Mother is in a training program to get her GED and work skills. So we noticed that our teachers noticed that the mom was, when she would come to school, the child would be irritable and the mother would yell and scream. And so when the mother leave, the child would become very upset, very just horrible upset. And then she became bullying other children and a behavior issue. And so when the teachers brought that to mind, what I did, how I applied the LATE was I called the mother in. I prearranged my office so there would be no one but her and I in the office. Then I asked the mother to come in, and she had time to come and have a cup of coffee or tea with me, and we sat. And so I asked her, did she see any problems with the behavior of her daughter, and she would like to share. And so, my goodness, she opened up a litany of issues and concerns that she lives in a shelter and the stress of that and how she could not stand it. And she went on. And as she did, what I simply did was I listened without interrupting her. I smiled. I gave her glances of approval and understanding and relating to her as a black mother. And then when we finished, I kind of like confirmed that I really understand and I really appreciate her not only sharing that with me, but I just found her, what she's gone through, to be something that she needs to know how strong she is for just withstanding that. And I applauded her, and I told her how grateful I was that she felt comfortable with sharing that, and how could I should support her. And as we talked, she kind of de-escalated. Her body language de-escalated. I listened more, and I said to her, we need to develop a plan where you and your daughter could have a little me time. And we decided that maybe once a week they would do something outside of the shelter, go for a walk, go to the park and sit and create a lunch. And so that's what we did. Meanwhile, the next day, I was going through the hallway And I looked, and it was around lunchtime. And I looked, and there's her daughter, there's Karen at lunchtime, and she's throwing her peas at the children. She is throwing them at the children. So I walked in, and the teacher's yelling, "Stop that, Karen!" And so I goes over to Karen, looks at her, and she looks at me, and I said, "What's wrong?" She says, "I hate peas, and I hate white people, and they make me sick." So I just looked at her, and I said, "Okay, you need to tell Miss Jackie, what do you like?" "I don't like any vegetables. I don't like." Karen is a preschooler. I think she was between 4 and 5. And so I said, "What do you like?" And I sat down very low in the preschool chair with her. And she says, "I don't like any vegetables." So I said, "Well, if you tell me vegetables or fruit that you like, you and I can make a salad together, and we can do this." And so as she began to share with me things that she could possibly like, I made a list. And so I promised her that I would buy these things that she had, and her and I will make a salad together. And the next day, the next evening, of course, I purchased those. There was only 3 or 4 items. I purchased them. And when her mother brought her in, I told the teacher that her and I are going to go into a room and have a little time together. And so we actually made a salad out of fruit and vegetables. And we talked and we played. And that was the first time I actually saw her smile and laugh. Mm-hmm. And so we did that. And after we made the salad, I said, "This is what we're going to do. At lunchtime, we're going to let you serve the salad to your friends." And so I had already previously informed their teacher, and so I did. So during lunchtime, the teachers told all the kids, Karen made a salad and she wants to share it with everyone. And she served everyone. And it was stumbly and bumbly, but she had a smile on her face, and she said, "Eat your fruit. It's good for you. It's vitamin." We had some oranges. "It's vitamin C." And it was so much fun that we instituted a once a month. Parents can donate vegetables or fruit, and their children will make a salad. But the end result was that she de-escalated a little bit of her aggressive behavior, which was very good. And we saved a little for her and her mother. And I brought containers, and I said, "You've got to show your mother what a chef you are." And we had the chef hats on. So that listening and affirming and teaching and those things that will participate in the development of children really works. And it was really, I did not expect the outcome, though. I did not expect the outcome to be fun, fabulous, and immediate. And it was all those.
Wow, Jackie, that is quite a story. So it sounds like, you just listening to that mother, you learned so much about her. Yeah. And then in listening to the daughter, here's a kid that she thinks she doesn't like vegetables, and now she's eating all sorts of things and actually sharing and helping other kids to learn. So your outcomes were both so positive in both of those situations.
Yes, yes. And not only is the outcomes positive, the outcomes is positive when you tell her you're addressing the need of that individual child. And when you address the need of the individual child, it made me realize you're addressing the need of the family and the community, because people became involved with donating fruit and vegetables. The children were excited to look at this once a month, and it made a mess. And the teachers went crazy, and they want everything in order, but it wasn't order. And children learned from wonderful disorder, and we loved it. Right. And consequently, she participated in that learning experience, and so did the parents.
Exactly. Look what a nice teaching opportunity that was for all of them.
Yes, yes.
Jackie, is there anything else you'd like to share? Any other stories or anything else that sticks in your mind about principles or things that you applied?
Yes, I did. I wanted to share very briefly. I look back at my notes in 2000 and maybe 2012. I actually have experience of every time I've been to a class. But in 2012, I was introduced with the whole skill of using your lenses and looking and seeing the situation with the children. And sometimes I realized that you've got to change your lens according to the situation you're looking at. And I had the opportunity to go and work with a group of teachers in Africa. And because of my exposure through IFP with really working with infants and teachers and what's all this all about, this brain development, I really understood the issue of how we cannot support corporate punishment. And so I was invited to come and talk with and engage the teachers about how they should not apply corporate punishment with children, with these orphans. And here's the problem that I encountered. I had all my books together and I said, wow, I can actually practice some of this observational skills of looking at and seeing how I can be supportive and understanding what I'm looking at. And so while we did not support corporate punishment, when I went to this orphanage where these children, parents were killed during war, and now they're orphans, and now the nannies, which are called the teachers, which are called nannies, they're part of disciplining the children using corporate punishment, which we are against. Mm-hmm. And so when I went there, I had an idea that we're not going to use corporate punishment. And so, but by the time I experienced the children, I realized three things. First, I cannot change anything in 3 weeks. Secondly, I've got to choose my battles. And thirdly, I have to meet the people where they are. And so instantly, I changed my plan to understanding the culture of where the children are and where the nannies are. And so I heard Diane in my head saying, what is the real need? What's the need there? And so I've learned to do observation before, during, and after to make sure that I'm meeting the real need and not the planned need. And often, as teachers, we want to meet what is planned, mm-hmm. but the real need is getting neglected. So I just put my books aside and I sat there and I allowed the children to teach me. And I embraced the culture of the people. And I supported where they were. And so instead of saying, no corporate punishment, that's what I wanted to say, mm-hmm. I spent time saying, show me how you love the children. How do you support the children? And then how do you want me to support you? And that was such a learning experience. And I could only learn that through using my lenses and observing where the real need is.
So just seeing that in a different framework, you ended up with the end result you were looking for.
Yes, most definitely.
Just came about it a different way.
A different way.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Jackie, for your time today. We really appreciate your being here with us.
Yes, yes.
And it was great to have you. And you were very candid and authentic, and we certainly appreciate that as well.
Sure.
So for more information regarding IFP, please visit us at our website at ifpros.net, or you could like us on our Facebook page at the Institute for Family Professionals. Thank you so much for your interest in IFP and for joining us today. I'm Angela Denny from Lakeside Educational Network. Have a great day.